Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Jaz-O, who originally put Jay-Z on when Hov was like 13, when he was the fastest rapper in Marcy Project.
Yeah,
That's how it started. And then obviously it's, gone on to many great things for Jay-Z, but him and Jaz-O have not been on great terms. No. And now, on great terms again. And there's a photo. A lot of great bonding moments at this On the Run 2 tour.
He gonna give him some money?
I mean,
wow.
I mean, great terms, Hold me down, low 1 milli.
I made this money, fam. Like, what are you talking about?
That doesn't sound very guru-ish.
I mean, I started you off. Let me get a little.
You put me in a rap song, B.
Get a little 1 mil.
My first album didn't even do that great after you put me on. Reasonable Doubt sold 100,000, 160,000 copies.
And that's way later, too, I mean.
But that's my point.
But I was the gateway.
But they were also, then there was Original Flavor, which Jazz was in.
Yes.
And Hov was featured with. So, I mean, they definitely
There was some looks there.
They did some work.
Just give you some money?
I don't think Jazz would just ask for.
Right. I'm asking for him.
That's nice of you, Shawnee.
Thanks, Shawnee.
I had a lot of people sending me annoying side-eye tweets because I put up a tweet complimenting Nicki's album.
Oh, God.
Why are you even so? Nicki got joints on her album.
And then you know what makes me think is like when people are like, what are you going to a Nicki Minaj album for? Isn't it possible you go to different albums to get different things?
Yes.
I didn't go to listen to Queen because I was like in a Kendrick mode. I was like, let me listen to Nicki Minaj. No.
I wanted to hear her.
I wanted to hear this vibe of music. So
she got fire on that album too, bro.
Like I said on the tweet, it is a well put together, nicely constructed album that's thoughtful. It's more thoughtful than I expected. It's really the Eminem record. I did not have high expectations for that. The Eminem tune's good.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the Eminem one?
No.
I thought the chorus was good. I thought they were both good on it.
But there's joints on there that I like though, a lot.
I thought the whole start of the album was solid.
Speaking of fire, her Funk Flex interview that's available now on hot97.com. It's getting some rave reviews. It is highly entertaining. And Safaree and Tiger's hairline.
They don't like it as much.
They're not so into it. I thought Safaree handled the back and forth with Nicki Minaj on Twitter, social media yesterday very well.
I did not see what he said.
I mean, they both took shots, but at a certain point, he was like, yo, you're better than this, and you're better than the people that you're responding to, and you should be celebrating this amazing achievement.
Oh, Safaree said that?
Yeah.
Well, I agree with him on that. I did not think Nicki I did not think she needed to go as deep on social media and during the Flex interview as maybe she did, but
well, she was feeling away yesterday. She was clapping back at Love and Hip Hop. People were talking ish about
people
her.
was trying to.
She been feeling attacked this week, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? She kind of sits quiet sometimes too. Yeah. Sometimes. So I wasn't all the way. I was like, you know what, Nicki,
get it season for a while.
Get it off your chest, Nicki. Go ahead.
She's been clapping back, guys, over the last few months.
But she's not as bad as other artists.
There's been a lot going on for her. Remy B, Cardi B.
Cardi B wasn't a thing, though.
But a little thing. I mean, it's competitive. It wasn't beef, but it was just competitive. And she,
Safaree tweeted,
yeah, true.
No joke, I made $30K today by referring people to the doctor who did my hairline. Thank you all. The funny thing is, it's never been a secret. That pic is 7 years old. But I'll be posting more info about my doctor later. Thank y'all, internet. I told y'all the Safaree hairline thing's been out there. The Tiger hairline thing's been out there too.
People obviously forgot. Tiger's like, damn, why you gotta bring that up?
I want Safaree to continue to go full heel Safaree. Wearing the fur coats, talking trash.
After what happened at Dykeman.
Telling people he's better than them.
But that's not who he is.
I know, but
he's a super nice guy.
Because when you
nice
meet him, he's so nice. And then you're first, because he looks very douchey when he walks in with his fur and his glasses. And then you meet him and you're like,
hey, listen, sometimes wrestlers aren't how they appear. But you can make, Ric Flair's a really nice guy, but the character was mean. And I think Safaree should do the same thing. I only date women like Nicki Minaj. Wear the fur coat, ride in the back of a Rolls Royce everywhere. He take some lessons from Tekashi.
Be that guy.
He's a good heel.
Tekashi's an amazing heel, right?
What? Tekashi's incredible. Just shows up to events at 5 minutes before it ends, does one lap around the place so everyone sees him, then walks out the door and hands $100 bills to children on the street.
Safaree's just a nice guy. He even yesterday in all the melee, he was like, yo, remember the night you cut me and I almost died? The police in the ambulance had to take me out of the crib on a stretcher and I had to lie and tell them I was trying to kill myself so they wouldn't take you to jail. When things like that start happening more than once, it's time to dip.
Wow.
He went in. And then he said, and you know what? I still don't have no hate for you because I'm happy in my own mind now. Enjoy your album dropping and stop letting these people see you sweat. This ain't you. You too big to act the way you be acting. No one on your level is acting that way. He's not a bad guy.
That assessment isn't wrong. I think a lot of people feel that way about Nicki. She doesn't need to worry about those things.
And her album is fire.
So it's a nice album, man. She put together a good body of work.
You know, I would guess that where Nicki is, and we'll get to the Gurus next and Flashing Lights with Laura Styles, who's on the way, Ebro in the morning. I would guess where Nicki is in her career. She feels, and when you listen to the album Queen, she feels compelled to remind people, and even in the Funk Flex interview, compelled to remind people how great of a rapper she is and that she writes her own stuff. Mm-hmm. In a world where I think people are, not only did they question her, but they were questioning Cardi B and they questioned other rappers or Drake or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just never felt like people ever questioned Nicki's ability to rap. I don't remember that.
Well, she's talking about the writing thing. Because Safaree, it was like a
Safaree
gray area.
did.
Safaree said, I helped her out with a lot of songs. So that's where that came from.
So that's where that came from. And she's going at it now that this album is out.
What do you mean going at what?
She's going at that topic.
That's because Flex brought it up. And she was like, I don't know why people keep bringing this up. It's not a thing. Nobody's ever written for me. And that took it to a place where it was just like, let me get this out once and for all. It's never happened. That's basically what's going on.
And there's a lot of pressure for an artist like Nicki, right? You got to be a bad joint. You got to be makeup and hair, all this You got to be great visuals, great video, great social media, hit songs, and you got to write, and you got to...
Now, for the record, I do think that that statement that writer made a couple of months ago that made Nicki go off about her character evolving, I do think there was truth in that, in the sense that if her character was to evolve more, she wouldn't necessarily feel the same physical pressures and that character the same way. Because Nicki Minaj is a character. It's not Onika Mirage. It's Nicki Minaj. It's very much a character. And she tells you stories from the perspective of a character. If she wanted to go to a different place where it was really autobiographical all the time, even though she would tell you she has a good amount of stuff like that, I don't think that's what her music's based on. If she was to go a little more personal, I think she could ease off of some of the other pressures that she puts on herself by playing Nicki Minaj. And I do think she lives a very interesting life with a lot of things that have happened. And there's no denying whether you think her music's good or bad. She has been the quote-unquote queen for going on a decade.
Yeah,
There's
facts.
been no one bigger than her for a decade. No one who deals with more pressure than Nicki Minaj. But I do think she could find ways to alleviate that pressure if she pushed herself.
Do you feel like she... I don't feel like I heard from her... And Cash, you watched more of the Flex interview than I did. I think you watched the whole thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Did she unpack like the pain? Because you know that Meek Mill breakup, I'm sure was painful.
Well, Flex actually asked her, "Is there a chance that you and Meek Mill get together?" And she definitely didn't say there wasn't.
Got it.
What did she say?
Well, she said she started laughing, and then she was like, and then she said that Nas actually told her that Meek still loves her. That he thinks Meek still loves her.
Sorry.
So. Oh, and she also said that line on what's the song called? The one where she
Barbie
did
Dreams.
Yeah, she said that line about Meek that he's absolutely in her DMs.
Absolutely.
That's the true line.
Yeah.
So they might be able to work that out.
I think didn't he put like a funny little face, like I'm caught face. Like
Yeah.
he was playing along.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
He was playing along.